welcome to the Shifted Perspective YouTube channel. My name is Brandon, if you didn't already know, welcome. So this is my E39 M5 that I just got under a week ago, and the first few things I'm going to be doing to it are going to be sort of regular maintenance items. The first thing I'm going to be doing is obviously an oil change. If you clicked on this video, I've done oil changes on my E92 M3 a handful of times, but I've never done an oil change on an E39 or anything like that. So it's very straightforward. I did a full order from ECS Tuning. The oil that I'm going to be using is Castrol Edge 10W60, which actually, as you'll notice, is the same oil that I run in my E92 M3. It's 10W60. The new brand of Castrol Edge is called Supercar. I think it was like TWS or something like that. However, I will tell you, do not get the Sport line. It's called Castrol Edge Sport. Don't get that because it's actually different. So 7 quarts. One of the filters offered on ECS Tuning is this MAN oil filter, which we will be using. And then they also give you a new drain plug bolt and crush washer right here. And the one that's on the car is a little bit, it looks like a little bit rusty or corroded, so we're definitely going to be swapping that out. Have a pair of gloves handy. And for the oil filter, this is actually the same one as my M3. I assume a lot of them are similar. It's a 36mm ratchet, as well as the drain plug, which is 17. That's what this size is. So just make sure you have a 17 and 36. If you do any sort of maintenance, you'll probably have them laying around, and that's going to be it. So let's get started. I'm going to drain the oil. I have no idea. I know it's been well over a year since the oil's been changed, so it's probably going to be pretty dark. The car is a little bit warm. So that's perfect for me. I don't like to work on a super hot car. I know a lot of guys say the oil should be as hot as possible just because it's thinner and then it comes out, but in the long run I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. I mean, this car is 120,000 miles, so I'm not too worried about that. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to be doing is taking out the oil filter, which is right on top here. Alright, the one that's on this car is a 13. The ECS sent me a 17, so I don't know which one's right, but at the least we can change out the crush washer if we have to. And this will be hard. I kind of need an extension, but there we go. We got her. Ooh, it's pretty hot. Always wear gloves, people. I just touched the oil. It's great. Oh. Alright guys, oil is almost all the way done dripping. I usually leave plenty of time to let it drip. I actually don't even see any more oil dripping in here. I don't know if I didn't do enough research or what, but this is the ECS replacement bolt. Which is the same thread pattern as the stock one. Also has the crush washer, but it is magnetic and it is longer, and it is 17 instead of 13. You can see it's magnetic. See, it magnetizes itself to that, which is helpful when you're installing it, but I feel kind of weird installing a longer bolt in the oil pan, but you know, if they sent it to me and they use it, I guess it's just kind of a foreign change to me, but having a larger bolt will definitely be easier next time when I replace it. So I'm going to be using this. It's kind of an upgrade. You know, this one's a little rusty, so it's going to be a nice little upgrade there for next time. Change the oil. Alright, so here is the top of the oil filter. Remove the gasket. And we'll want to put the new one on, which goes not all the way up, but right before. There's a special lip for it. And there we go. Put this guy back on. There we go. We're gonna check to make sure that nothing is dripping. And as you can see, those have been there. That's not from today. It's not actually even directly below. Directly below would be right here, which there's nothing right there. So we are good. Now we'll show you guys what the oil pan drain plug looks like. See how clean that is? Everything looks good. I did a hand tighten. This thing probably doesn't need more than like 20 foot-pounds of torque. You definitely don't want to strip the oil pan, and it has a crush washer anyway, so you're probably fine. So let's put this flat back on with a little Phillips screwdriver and we'll be good to go. Don't want to sit in oil. Jeez. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned something. This is very straightforward, but for some reason I always have this fear that I'm going to strip the drain plug, or I'm going to drop a bottle of oil and I'm not going to have enough, or something like that. So always be very careful, use gloves, and you know, use common sense and take your time. You know, it shouldn't really take much more than half an hour on a normal car. You know, I have an M car here. You know, everyone says how expensive they are, but you can do a lot of stuff yourself that saves you money, and you know, if you like to do it, then that's a plus as well. So that's it. All I'm gonna do is warm up the car, you know, kind of drive around town a little bit just to make sure. And then of course, being an older car, this has a regular, oh, what the heck? This has a regular dipstick that I'm too wimp to pull out. Of course, that reading is irrelevant right now. Alright, so as I mentioned, I used ECS tuning to order all this stuff. I think it was about $100 for everything. They give you an upgraded drain plug, crush washer, and the gasket, and as well as the filter as well. So $100 for an M car, an M5, in my mind is not too bad. I think it's about the same price for my M3. I use a little bit less oil, but I usually order a few extra ones just in case. This isn't, if you are wondering and you are an M5 guy, this is an 03. So this tends to consume a lot less oil than maybe like the 2000s and earlier, from what I know, and I haven't had it long enough to know if it does drink a lot of oil or if it really drinks any at all. I haven't driven it more than 500 miles. So so far everything is good. I'm probably going to plan to change the oil every 5,000 to 7,000 miles depending. I don't drive a ton, so every year or two I'll be doing that, and that's going to wrap it up. So I will put a link for the stuff that I use in the description below. The way that I recycle my oil, if you guys are wondering, is I actually just go to Jiffy Lube and give them my oil drain, and they recycle it. And I think it's a thing, at least in where I live in Columbus, Ohio, I don't know if they're incentivized or required to recycle the oil for you, but they'll do it. They just pour it in their little oil recycle thing. And it's always really funny, especially when I have the M3, I'll roll up there and back the car and I'll say, hey guys, can you recycle this? And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I just changed my oil, can you do it? And they're always mind blown because there's this young guy with like a fancy car to them, and a BMW, which probably doesn't roll through like the Jiffy Lube that often. And I have a thing of oil in the back that I want to recycle. So I always get a kick out of that. The guys, they're always really cool and they always really like the car, but they're always very surprised. Like a guy like me doesn't look like someone who would work on their cars usually. So anyways, that is gonna wrap it up. Hopefully I did everything right and there's no one that has an M5 that's yelling at me. I did put 7 liters in the car, and I do have extra, and I had the majority of it drain out as best as I could, so I'll drive around town. Thank you again. Lots more upkeep. Do you guys like the headlights? I refinished them, so hopefully they'll stay that way for a little while. I will most likely get lenses, or potentially the Euro headlights that have the clear marker here instead of the orange. So anyways, that's gonna wrap it up, and thank you for watching. Sorry guys, I just had to do it. I was moving the cars around because I'm gonna put the M3 back in the garage, and I had to get this car out of the way, of course, but I just had to do it. 03 M5 6-speed, 2011 E92 M3 6-speed. If you guys don't know about this car, you definitely are new to the channel, but both these cars are mine, and I couldn't be happier. So with that said, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next time.